How would you feel to discover that a definitive solution against heartburn and reflux was discovered over 20 years ago and has been hidden all this time by the pharmaceutical industries, and that due to these commercial manipulations, you run the serious risk of joining that 57%? It's frustrating to know that the future of your family and the fate of your health has been under the control of these multi-million-dollar institutions all this time. But a simple 5-minute nightly habit is providing the natural extermination of reflux and heartburn in up to 21 days. Where more than 378 volunteers between the ages of 18 and 60 were able to literally eat everything again without waking up at night with any burning sensation. And yet, without the constant embarrassment of people judging your hygiene because of the bad breath that reflux generates, even when you drink water at night, acidic belching, you have burns, you're afraid of surgery, you choke on your own acid, you have a lot of heartburn, and after eating a wonderful chocolate cake. So even today, you will eliminate all this instantly without the use of any omeprazole, without having to make changes in your diet, or even having to sleep all night facing a single side. It's hard to swallow the fact that all this simply did not reach you due to a ridiculous commercial and bureaucratic issue. My name is Pablo Mendoza. I am a doctor and researcher, and today in this video, I promise to be very honest with you about everything I have superficially seen on YouTube and other information channels. After analyzing the scientific studies that prove the effectiveness of this formula, I came to the conclusion that really, I had never seen anything like this solution before. What I will show you in the next few minutes is completely contradictory and different from everything you have seen or tried before. Believe me, this video will not only save you a lot of money, but it will mainly save your life, so that these first symptoms do not become an irreversible severity. Well, then let me explain to you why you need to listen to me right now. If you are confused, if you have reflux or gastritis, know that whatever it is, I will show you how to solve everything at once. If you feel that no solution is specific to your problem, know that one problem generates another, and that the root cause is much simpler than you think. A disease like this, in its early stages, if not treated, can lead to complications, such as esophageal ulcer, which, if aggravated, can progress to terminal esophageal cancer. What I have to show is controversial to the point that, because we reveal so much confidential information, I don't know how long this video will be available, given that some international brands feel threatened and have even started to send extrajudicial letters to the company hosting our website. Remove this content from the internet forever, so you are well warned. The valuable content of this video can be disconnected at any time, so sit in a comfortable place to watch this video now while it is still available. They are in panic about what will happen if you find out what I am going to share here. And honestly, they have good reasons to be scared. They will lose billions of dollars in sales, and you and I can work together to spread this message to help everyone who has episodes of heartburn and reflux. In fact, they are already starting to see losses, since 13,489 people around the world have already used this presentation to discover the true natural treatment. As I said, my name is Pablo Mendoza. I am a doctor and researcher with a PhD in molecular medicine from Jussieu, a great university in London, where today I also have my own clinic. 15 years ago, I fell in love with the study of natural medicine, but it all started with my own mother's health. And although this story may impact you, I will tell you about it now. Well, my entire journey to find the solution began at 3:27 that morning when my father and I hurriedly took my mother to the city's emergency hospital. My mother had spent her entire life taking omeprazole, and a lot of omeprazoles, not to mention antibiotics. We never really took this problem seriously because my mother always suffered from pain, difficulty breathing, and burning in her stomach. That was already part of her routine. We were used to it. When the pain worsened, she would take an Antacid or an omeprazole, and that was it, until that terrible day. My mother woke up screaming, crying in pain. It was Christmas Eve, and we were preparing the end-of-year celebrations in the countryside of Bogotá. Me, my girlfriend, my brothers, and their families. But when she screamed for help that morning, We had no idea what we would find. Can you imagine arriving in your mother's room and finding her on the floor, choking on her own blood? It was the worst scene I have ever seen in my life. At that moment, I thought to myself, God, I'm losing my mother now. A scene of terror for our entire family, all because of a stomach synthesis we ignored. At the hospital, she finally woke up very weak and told me, "Son, I wish this terror on no one that our family went through today. I feel the feeling of death with every crisis. I can't stand drinking natural teas, shortness of breath, with more pillows. I can't stand it." The first thing I did was contact a family doctor friend to perform an endoscopy on her. In the same week, we already had an answer about my mother's exams. In addition to presenting moderate gastritis caused by bacteria, we also discovered a 2-centimeter ulcer in her esophagus near her throat caused by acid reflux. The same acid that rose up, and we thought that omeprazole was helping her. I started to sweat cold, just imagining that it was one step away from becoming terminal cancer, a cancer that could take my mother's life in less than 5 years. So I convinced her to try everything I recommended, starting with diet. And look, I had never seen my mother so disciplined in all my life. She eliminated red meat, eliminated fried foods, eliminated sodas, eliminated coffee. In short, eliminated everything we knew caused reflux and heartburn. But unfortunately, that did not work as we expected, because she continued to complain that the food was coming back up her throat and the burning that appeared with each meal. But we did not give up so easily. So, in addition to controlling her diet, I asked her to try various natural recipes that I knew worked for many people. She tried ginger tea, lemon juice, sweet potato juice, everything you can imagine, and some even gave her a little relief. But as you can imagine, it was a very weak relief. Also, she had to drink tea all day for the effects to last, and that wasn't even close to what she really needed. But the worst happened in the early hours of a Sunday. My father called me desperate, saying that my mother woke up again choking on her own gastric acid. My mom's reflux returned strongly, even after all the time she dedicated to trying to control it. She couldn't breathe because she kept coughing and coughing, while trying to say on the phone that her chest was burning. I felt like the worst son in the world. How could I be an expert in natural solutions if I couldn't even help my own mother? But despite the embarrassment I felt that day, I decided that I was not going to sit around waiting for the next big crisis to happen and choke my mother for the 3rd time. I needed to put an end to this. That's when the next morning, I decided to open up to my former university directors about everything that was happening. Look, after a few weeks of reviewing heaps and heaps of studies and some scientific articles every day and months, we were about to find something revolutionary. The natural solution to reflux has been validated almost 20 years ago. That's right, an incredible formula created by 4 years of tests that was able to leave 100% of a group of 378 volunteers from 18 to 60 years old, free of any symptoms of burning or reflux, free of omeprazole or any surgery, free to eat whatever they wanted as if they had never had heartburn in their life. I know, it's really hard to believe, and everyone on our research team was also very suspicious and skeptical because many questions arose in our minds. After all, if this was found almost 20 years ago, why hadn't anyone mentioned it before? It's disgusting to think about it, right? But since January 2022, a few thousand people around the world are already using this solution, and from today, you can also use it at home to get rid of reflux and heartburn and live normally again. Therefore, pay close attention to the following information. They will be fundamental for you to be able to eat everything you want without feeling burning and to sleep without worries. Well, after we swallow food and it goes down the esophagus, there is a small door called the sphincter at the bottom, right? That relaxes and opens so that this food falls into the gastric juice of the stomach and can be digested. Once the food has passed, normally that little door would close immediately, because then that gastric juice that digests the food could not go back up into the esophagus and would not cause that horrible burning sensation in the throat. But there's a detail. That small door in the stomach is made of muscle, and when it cannot close completely, there's a gap for the acid to rise during digestion. Well, that's where this nightmare starts. It's like turning on a washing machine with the lid still open. What will happen is that the water and soap will completely leak out, and the same happens with your stomach when that small muscle door doesn't close. The acid and food can rise into the esophagus during digestion and cause that terrible pain and burning sensation. If this happens to you and you still think it's because of the Helicobacter pylori bacteria, do the test. Just take the antibiotics that temporarily relieve this bacteria and tell me again if the reflux is over. It won't end because Helicobacter only causes heartburn, which is different from reflux, which is an already advanced symptom. Helicobacter can even worsen the crises of burning and pain during the period of infection, but it is not the main cause. If reflux has been bothering you for months or years, the problem is precisely in the sphincter, that small muscular door that acts as a lid for your stomach. Now, knowing that to alleviate these reflux crises, as your doctor has probably told you, you would just need to change some things in your routine, right? Eliminate some foods, lose weight, raise the head of the bed, eat slowly, do not drink liquids with meals. Right? Well, we know that's not the case. Like my mother, anyone who has reflux and heartburn knows that it is practically impossible to follow the anti-reflux diets that doctors prescribe. And the reason is because you can't eat almost anything. You can't eat red meat, fries, ready-made sauces, mayonnaise, chocolate cakes, pizza, any type of cheese, any type of milk, no alcohol, no sodas. You need to eliminate coffee, chocolate, black tea, and green tea. My God, who can live a life like that? No one. The hardest part is to eliminate all this with low financial conditions. You cannot keep buying whole, natural, and fitness items every day if you do not have the means. It's sad to know that there are people who cannot take care of their health in the right way due to a lack of money. So, what do people normally do? Avoid eating one thing or another, and every time the burning comes, take omeprazole or alprazolam, and you are in that chemical dependency for the rest of your life. But what no one tells you is that taking these medications can be the totally correct way to destroy your esophagus and generate an ulcer in a short time. Yes, exactly as it did to my mother, but let me explain better. When you take an omeprazole, hoping that the acid will stop rising through your throat, you are simply fooling yourself. It will simply make the gastric juices of your stomach less acidic, a little less corrosive temporarily. But the fact that you don't feel the acid burning like before does not mean that it has stopped attacking your esophagus. The only difference is that now with the lower acidity, you don't feel pain, since the acid continues to inflame and hurt everything. That's why thousands of people take omeprazole and suddenly discover an ulcer. And well, as this ulcer did not appear suddenly, it will be caused in silence while you are anesthetizing yourself with the medicine. Imagine this with me. Imagine that you are now the owner of a fireworks store, and you have an alarm next to your bed in case there is a fire. Now imagine that in the middle of the night, this alarm goes off, and instead of getting up and solving the problem, you simply turn off the alarm and go back to sleep. Did you fix the fire? No! The emergency is still there. Your store is still on fire, and every second more fireworks are being lit. This is all the time with these medications. You have only been turning off that alarm. Meanwhile, the damage continues without you seeing it. That's why the ulcer suddenly appeared in my mother. The body was still injured without us knowing it. But the warnings were always there. And do you remember all those natural tea recipes we made? Look. We ourselves have verified that some of them even work, but only to temporarily relieve the burning, and the next day, everything starts again. You simply kept turning off the fire alarm with these teas while the damage continues, because they act like medications, solving the symptom temporarily. I didn't want to find another way to numb the burning while the damage continued. This is simply fooling yourself. And of course, it really wouldn't solve my mother's health. What I really wanted was to find a way for the acid not to even reach the esophagus and throat. That would solve her life. That would make my mom able to eat what she liked again, stop scaring us at home, throw away her medications, and enjoy life as she deserves. And after researching for a few weeks, my team and I came up with the answer on how to achieve this. And now I'm going to reveal all the details to you. Look at this. As I showed you, the real problem for those who suffer from this is not the acid. It is very important and needs to stay inside only your stomach. There it will do no harm. The real problem for 99% of people, as you have seen, is the fact that this acid rises through the throat. That's all you have to fix. By completely closing the stomach door, it will be impossible for reflux and burning to occur. That is really the only way not to run the risk of suddenly developing esophageal ulcers and even cancer. Stay with me, because now I will show you how not only my mother, but also more than 13,000 people around the world are finally getting rid of reflux and heartburn without even going near a pharmacy, without giving up eating what you like the most, without fear of burning, or that the food will come back up when sleeping. Take a look. In 2002, the Institute of Biomedical Sciences at Unicamp, Brazil, began extensive research that had one goal: to find a safer alternative for the health of Brazilians than the famous omeprazole. From there, they began to study the cases of 378 volunteers between 18 and 60 years old who suffered from heartburn and reflux. As there were people who had been using omeprazole since they were children, people who managed to reduce the crises without medication, just taking care of their diet, people with reflux and gastritis due to Helicobacter pylori. That is, there were literally all kinds of people in these volunteer groups, and after almost a year, analyzing common characteristics such as hormonal indices, diet, and sleep, they noticed a curious similarity between several of them. Almost all of them had difficulty sleeping. Sleeping without waking up during the night was impossible, according to them. And then the first thing that came to mind for the research team was that they must sleep poorly, because obviously reflux wakes them up at night. But then one of the researchers disagreed with this theory and requested tests of the hormonal levels generated during sleep. They even asked for tests from volunteers who reported having slept incredibly well, and what they found from there intrigued them even more. Not only the volunteers who slept poorly, but also those who slept very well, had very low levels of N-acetyl-5-methoxytryptamine, or NA5M. That is, the main hormone generated only during the night was missing in the body of all the volunteers. How was that possible? Those who sleep well should have this hormone completely regulated. And that's when the key question arose among them. Could the lack of NA5M have something to do with reflux? After some tests and a few months later, the researchers discovered something incredible. They found that the imbalance of this hormone affects the muscle signals of the intestine during digestion. That is, NA5M is the main hormone responsible for sending these muscle signals so that the sphincter, that little door of the stomach, opens and closes correctly. Therefore, replenishing those hormonal levels during the night could be a natural and possibly effective way to regulate that small door in your stomach and thus block the accumulation of acid and burning from reflux, curing reflux and heartburn while you sleep. Can you imagine how crazy that is? The researchers immediately organized a study that would demonstrate this finding in practice. In Group A, 176 patients would receive a nutrient shake with a specific composition for 21 days that contained 6 specific natural ingredients that stimulated the NA5M hormone, which would enhance the muscle signals of the stomach. In Group B, another 176 patients during the same period only received 40 milligrams of omeprazole. The test was blind, meaning the patients did not know which group they were in or what they were taking. After 21 days, the results of the individual evaluation were published and were simply impressive. In Group B, with the patients who used 40 milligrams of omeprazole, only 66% of them reported temporary relief of burning only. The patients in Group A who used the special composition for NA5M, 100% of them had complete relief from the burning crises caused by reflux. And endoscopic exams of these patients showed 100% normal functioning of the esophageal sphincter, the small door of the stomach. So the researchers were right. Solving the problem of the small door in the stomach through hormonal stimulation of Na5M was what really eliminated episodes of heartburn and chest pain. Just to give you an idea of how this really resolved the reflux attacks much more efficiently than medication, after the comparative study, the patients in Group B also took the shake with the special composition and all managed to get rid of their reflux attacks in a few days. Additionally, another study with these ingredients conducted in Switzerland a few months later showed that even patients with chronic gastritis experienced a considerable improvement in their condition, as Na5M, when in contact with the nutritional activators of the shake, was able to accelerate the healing of stomach lesions. In other words, this method was infinitely better than any remedy for acid reflux and heartburn that they had tried, doing the job of treating all the problems at once, besides being completely natural. The 30-day treatment was much more effective against reflux attacks and did not cause side effects in any of the patients. Perhaps you're now wondering, why have I never seen this formula published? Well, unfortunately, not everything in the world is rosy. This happens because the global health system has always been under the reins. International pharmaceutical industries will always be greedy and corrupt. Think about it now. Prescription drugs are legal drugs, right? And like all drug traffickers, they don't want you to stop buying. That's why this multi-billion-dollar industry has no interest in advertising a solution like this. This may be a bit shocking, but the truth is that this pharmaceutical industry makes puppets of people at the expense of our health. They earn $41 billion a year. Because of this, I faced another great challenge. I needed to dedicate another 6 months of my life to laboratory research. My goal was to find ingredients that were more affordable and had the same nutrients that stimulate Na5M to regulate the body's nighttime hormone production and control the stomach door. And to my joy, I finally discovered 3 other plants whose combination of nutrients would form this same formula. They are so common and accessible that you have probably stepped on some of them in your backyard without realizing the incredible healing power hidden in these plants. One of them is Teofilo pinnata, but Google will not help even knowing the name of the substance. Know that it will not help. You need access to an application protocol because it is only efficient when consumed in the correct dose and combination. I didn't waste time. My mother would be privileged with this new discovery of mine. In August 2021, the first 7 days were incredible. She improved a lot from the burning, especially after lunch. She began to comment that she was sleeping much better. She was sleeping deeply. Apparently, by regulating the Na5M, it also promoted intense relaxation at night. Still, we kept her diet very strict as a precaution, but by day 15, the improvement was already very big. The burning in her chest and shortness of breath that tormented her so much disappeared completely, and her sleep continued to be wonderful. It was useless to keep the diet. That's when we decided to remove all dietary restrictions on day 21. And when that day came, my mother no longer felt any reflux crisis. She wanted to. But to make sure this method was foolproof, my girlfriend and I went out for pizza, and even after stuffing herself with so much food, my mother slept like a baby that night. The food didn't come back to her mouth, and the burning was not noticeable. She didn't feel that indigestion. She still felt nothing. She was cured. Look, pay attention now, because you're going to be amazed when you hear what I'm going to tell you now. A year had already passed, and even though she was no longer taking the shake, this formula still allowed my mom to spend a year eating everything without taking a single medication. And even though she failed a few times during those 21 days, my mother completely transformed her life. Finally, she won what took away her peace every day. What used to seem like a nightmare, getting out of bed always because of the burns that wouldn't let her sleep. Now that was in the past after finally eliminating heartburn and reflux from the root of the problem with a simple homemade shake that stimulates hormone levels, regulating the muscle signals of the stomach door. My accessible formula was really approved, and my fellow researchers also gave good news in their countries in South Africa, Ireland, the United States, Israel, Brazil, Mexico, as all this revolution until then was done discreetly. Only the collaborating clinics in these countries used our method internally. If we really wanted to end all these multi-billion-dollar manipulations of the pharmaceutical industry, we really couldn't allow only certain people to have access to this private program. The whole world needed to know. Maybe now you're thinking, if the program is private, how do I get access? So now, in just a few seconds, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do to become our next success story. Millions of people around the world go through the same suffering that my family went through with my mother. But because the big industry wanted to hide these natural cures, unfortunately, that agent would never find out about our discovery. The only way to find out was to go to my clinic, which would be unfeasible for someone who doesn't live in London. So, for everyone to be able to access the protocol remotely, I documented all my research and organized all the information I discovered. All recipes, all studies and tests, I've summarized everything into a single application method. A detailed guide where I teach you which plants to use, where to find them, how to prepare the mixture in the right amounts, what precautions to take, how to consume it, how to maximize the results, and much more. This application protocol is called PCA, Zero Burn Program. PCA is the first and only natural treatment proven by associated chemists worldwide, capable of eliminating all stomach pains caused by burning and reflux, while you sleep with a simple natural shake that precisely stimulates nighttime hormonal levels, regulating the muscle signals of the stomach's little door so it doesn't open uncontrollably. Moreover, this method reduces by 94% the chances of infection by Helicobacter pylori, a double treatment that, with the nutrients of 3 common plants, forms the active principles that end gastric lesions, making the stomach healthy again, as if it had never had a burn. In a few minutes, you can prepare the treatment, take it, and feel the effects today. Just like my own mother, she had violent episodes of burning, difficulty breathing all day, and felt completely cured in the first 7 days. This may seem miraculous, but the results are proven by her, by science, and by thousands of patients worldwide who have been cured. We know that by applying this incredible shake, you would eliminate any possibility of a new attack of heartburn. So now let's take a look at what you will discover in the method. Despite anti-reflux, in addition to having immediate access to our internal recipe, this powerful natural shake that stimulates hormones to regulate muscular synapses. In Module 1, you will understand in depth why 98% of people will never permanently eliminate their burns without this protocol. In Module 2, you will find the guide called Immediate Relief Protocol. You will discover exactly how to use 4 special ingredients rich in anesthetic actives for when you need to eliminate any heartburn or to instantly alleviate all symptoms. In Module 3, Burning Extinction, more ways to protect the lining of the esophagus and intestines from corrosive stomach acid to prevent the development of an ulcer. In the following modules, you will also learn what measures and precautions to take and what mistakes not to make in order to treat reflux and heartburn as assertively as possible, so that you can spend Christmas and New Year with your family eating what you want without any guilt. As I said, this program contains everything you need to eliminate burning and nervous reflux once and for all. Extremely simple and straightforward, without difficult words, allowing you to start treating yourself as quickly as possible with just 5 minutes of your day. All this elaborated with powerful natural ingredients that are affordable or even present in your own home. The PCA method is based on clinical research where the real reasons why people fail to eliminate heartburn attacks were examined. Absolutely anyone can do it and have the same results, even if you are 18, 30, or even 90 years old. And all you need to start is your cell phone or computer with internet and some ingredients you probably already have in your kitchen. The advantage of having the Zero Burn program remotely online is that you don't have to wait a week for it to arrive by mail or even go to my pharmacy. Instead, nothing will stop you from starting to see results today. So, now that I've taken a look inside, I imagine you can see how valuable this program is. How many men and women would feel more secure by eliminating the possibility of suddenly having an ulcer or cancer? How many families would be saved by avoiding this? You can imagine, there is nothing that pays for having a healthy life without the risk of unexpected cancer. A life free of burning, free from acid burps, constant pains, and nausea. But what if you had to pay $500? We did a little research, and if you had reflux surgery, that would be the amount you would spend. Yes, $500 for invasive and dangerous surgery that ridiculously does not guarantee the end of nighttime nausea and does not even give you the freedom to eat and drink what you like again. This is humiliating for the patient. The entire pharmaceutical industry is involved, and that's why they are billionaires. Many gastroenterology experts recommended that I charge $95 for the Zero Burn program. $95 is a fifth of the cost of surgery for gastroesophageal treatment, which costs more than $500 and can still have unbearable side effects such as difficulty swallowing and irreversible alteration of your stomach's anatomy. In the best case, not to mention the deadly possibilities, you will have problems eating and stomach discomfort for the rest of your life. Between you and me, you might agree that now $95 might be a fair price, right? No. The truth is that the Zero Burn program in 21 days is worth much more than $95. It not only eliminates your gastric crises at the root of the problem, but PCA also saves people by eliminating any risk of unexpected terminal esophageal cancer, any risk of new heartburn attacks. I feel blessed to discover this affordable, powerful formula, and for me, the only thing that matters now is to get this protocol to as many people as possible so that it can perform the same miracle it did in my mother's life. That's why today I will never ask you for the $95 that some research partners have suggested, and I won't even ask you for $40, which is half that amount. My life's mission is to help at least 1 million people worldwide to end this problem once and for all. And since money is scarce for many families today, I want the program to be really affordable for you. Now, and only through this website, you can start resetting your intestinal system today in a single payment of $27 with a credit card. Yes, for that small price, the Zero Burn program is yours today. The PCA price is the minimum that allows us to pay for the website, the dissemination of the method, and also pay this incredible support team we have just for you. When you have a question during the program, you will have full access to a very well-explained and simplified step-by-step for you. And there's more. In addition to the 21-day Zero Burn program, one of the special advantages of registering today is that you will have direct access to my private email. If you have any doubts about anything, you can email me, and I will answer them myself. This is an extremely valuable bonus, and it's yours 100% free if you register today. However, to be able to answer everyone's questions, I needed to limit the number of people who will receive this bonus. The good news is that I have reserved 25 spots for people to see right now. And I don't know if you're the first person or the 20th to view this video. Therefore, you must act now to not lose your spot and this exclusive bonus. Click on the button below this video right now and sign up for the Zero Burn program. Only through this page will you be able to guarantee this special discount and all these free bonuses. Just so you know, it's safe to try the program because you don't buy a car without driving it first, right? And that's what I'm suggesting now. You will be able to judge if the method helps you eliminate the burning, but you will only know if it works if you apply it, right? We are so confident in our guide that I will not only give you a conventional 15-day guarantee determined by law. I want you to be part of the largest international anti-reflux movement in history to finally achieve intestinal peace. That's why I want you to try the methods of the program with a 60-day guarantee. You will have time to apply, test, and decide whether or not you want to continue in our program. And even more, if you pass the 60 days, I will give you something better and safer than that. You only pay if it works. That's right, if you apply everything we are going to show you and you don't have the slightest result, I will still refund all your money. Just send us an email at soporttep@gmail.com, and your money will be instantly returned to your bank account without delays and without stress. And if you are still not sure about joining the program, I will give you 3 reasons why you should click the button below now to secure your place today. The main reason is that you will finally solve your burning and reflux once and for all without depending on more medications. And for that reason, you will also end any loss of productivity in your routine caused by sleepless nights, dietary restrictions, and burning that interfere with your day-to-day. Without having to spend a lot of money buying whole and natural foods, your intestinal health will never again depend on your financial situation. I still personally follow many families to make sure the program is foolproof. They always report that they are closer than ever to their children and grandchildren. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is that they are safe with their family. Don't let innocent heartburn take that away from you. Suffering from reflux is like Russian roulette. Every minute of waiting pulls the trigger and increases the risk of irreversible damage. For these reasons, the smartest decision you can make today is to join the program now. Click right now on the green button below, "I want access now," to join all the people who have already been impacted by the 21-day zero burn program with this powerful nighttime habit. We ensure to use a serious and highly qualified company to process the payment and host all the content of the program. Hotmart. It already has more than 1,000 users worldwide, and by clicking on the green button below, the Hotmart registration page will appear with SSL encryption and verification, a security code used in banks to ensure user safety during payment. And to make your registration is very simple. By clicking on the green button below, the next page will show you the payment form with your card. From there, it takes less than a minute to complete your personal details. Select the payment option, complete the registration information, and click on the Pay Now button, and upon confirming your purchase with a credit card, you will receive access to PCA. The program will be sent immediately to your email. Click on the button below this video right now to secure your place in the Zero Burn program while it is available. Now, to be clear, don't expect me to recommend sophisticated YouTube recipe techniques within our program. We will only join the facts that have been proven and verified by our scientific community. Have you noticed that gastric burning and the deregulated door are not fixed with the constant use of medication? So, what is the solution? Well, using the homemade shake methods and PCA, you will regulate control over the stomach door and also eliminate any hidden bacteria that cause heartburn in your system. In addition, you will know exactly what to do to get immediate relief when you have an outbreak. With everything you've discovered today, it's time for you to get your hands on the Zero Burn program now. Today, a year later, I am proud to say that my mother no longer takes medication and no longer has crises. Tell me, how much would it be worth to regain your life, eat what you like, and spend quality time with those you love? How much time and money would you lose if you continued to insist on treating the symptoms with these false remedies instead of cutting the root of the problem? Well, if you still see the green button below, it's because there are still some spots left. So this is your chance, and I wouldn't miss it for anything after all that this program has done for so many families around the world. Remember, this opportunity is only available to new customers who register for the Zero Burn program through this page, and only for the next 24 hours. Maybe tomorrow you come back to this page and the price is triple the current value. It's less than having lunch with your family. It's certainly less than operating or buying drugs to keep numbing you and suffering side effects. Not to mention that they won't give you an exclusive guarantee to try the treatment for 60 days. So click now on the button below and secure your access now. This is literally the best opportunity of your life. Go ahead and click on the button below to start your 2024 based on your intestinal system. By clicking on this button below, you will be immediately directed to our secure page to register. Take 60 seconds to enter your information on the payment page, and you will have immediate access to the program. In a few seconds, you can receive your access in the email and start applying the easiest and most effective method to eliminate your reflux naturally. Once the payment is finalized, open your email and you will have user information and password and the link to our members area. There you will find all the content of the program, and you can also interact with other members. You may be wondering, what if this doesn't work for me? Every penny of your money is immediately refunded. Just request a refund within our members area within 60 days of purchase. That's right, if the program simply doesn't work for you, just request a refund within 60 days and we will return 100% of the amount paid without delays or stress. But to be honest, if it works for everyone who has ever used it, why wouldn't it work for you? But still, try it for 60 days. Click on the button below and secure your place. You have reached the end of this presentation. From now on, you have 3 options. Option 1, do absolutely nothing. Watch how your burning increases the risks to your health, and you may encounter unexpected cancer in the future. Option 2, be a drug addict forever. Yes, of course, you should listen to your doctor, but do you want to be a slave to reflux medication for the rest of your life? Or do you want to act now and take steps to heal naturally and get rid of the medications? Option number 3, the most responsible and intelligent option. Try the program for 60 days with no commitment. If you try this new habit and don't hesitate to request a refund, the effectiveness of our method has been proven by several studies. Thousands of people have benefited from them without any side effects. The decision is yours and yours alone, but do it now. The only thing you can do to defuse this ticking time bomb is to click on the button below and start using the method that will eliminate your burning and reflux in 21 days. Remember, this is a one-time investment, so you will never be charged again, and you can download all the guides with videos and images for as many devices as you want. That way, you can access the program on your phone or computer whenever you want. You can start saying goodbye to acid reflux and heartburn today. Thank you for watching this far. Click now on the green button below. See you on the other side. Goodbye.